Righto, we won't be long. We'll be just about to get underway here with this Stallion draft or Stallion shootout, whatever you suggest you'd like to call it. But I tell you what, it should be a bit of fun. We're going to get underway here in just a moment. Mr. Andrew Turvey, you'll be swinging the whip once again, doing a fine job. Not only in the front of the yard, but at the back of the yard as well. So thank you very much to Andrew. But just in a moment, so if we could have our yard men, gatekeepers, etc.
We do have some instructions before we get started. Andrew said a very similar situation to what we've been doing throughout the week, but ride to whip or whistle. Don't gallop back into the cattle. 9 to 7 in the yard, and good luck. Now, I do have some very interesting information to also announce before we get started. 87 and over will go into the draw, the last draw for the Gold Buckle final. So if you have an 87 or above, you are in the final. Now, the draw for your number, for your run, will be done in the grass area in front of the Willinga Park grandstand. So in front of the Willinga Park grandstand in the grass area is where we'll do the draw this afternoon. That'll be at 5:30 this afternoon. So we'd love to see the competitors there to choose their number for their draw in the final.
So just of those, so you know and understand what these particular competitors are competing for here in this particular event, in this Stallion shootout or Stallion Dash for Cash. They're going to play down to 3 places, so you will need to be in the first 3 places to get 1 cent of money. But I tell you what, first place, you will get a $5,000 cash check. $5,000 will go to the winner. Second place is $2,500, and third place you'll be riding for $1,500, and fourth place there is no money. So there you have it. You will need to be in the first 3 to win any money in this particular event. And tell you what, we've got some very very nice stallions lining up for our exhibition here this afternoon in this Stallion shootout.
Yes, and I believe, Gavin, there's 3 Willinga Park stallions in the Stallion shootout, so we'll look forward to seeing how they go. And you will also see, once again, the Willinga pastoral cattle. This is Terry and Jeanette's cattle that we will be using throughout the entire week.
I know, and how fitting is that? Like I say, you know, the effort that they go to, and to be able to present another 3 quality horses in an event such as this. So a big thank you to Jeanette and Terry Snow and all the team at Willinga Park for not only putting it on but also participating in the events right throughout the whole week. And it certainly doesn't go unrecognised. And if you get the opportunity, make sure you make yourself known to one of the team members here at Willinga Park and give them a little nod and a thank you for the efforts that they've spent in getting this event underway and continuing the support throughout not just this event but the whole industry itself. So a big thank you to the Snow family.
And we'll be getting underway as soon as we have our cattle on camp. And our first competitor in will be Alana Chamberlain riding Smart Spin and Acres, owned by the Chamberlain family. Then we'll have number 2, Ben Hall, Moore's Checkmate. Then we'll have number 3, Mark Buttsworth, and number 4, Pete Comiskey, and number 5 will be Hugh Miles. And if you haven't already heard, 87 and above will go into the Gold Buckle final, 87 and over.
So once again, we should be in for an exciting afternoon here in the main arena here at Willinga Park. I tell you, we're just about to get underway with this Dash for Cash in the Stallion draft. And then at the conclusion of this, we will have a slight break and then we will go on with that cutout final. And that is always a bunch of fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, this evening at about 6 o'clock, you want to make yourself right back here in the main arena because we will have that cutout final. But you are watching right at this point in time in the camp the start of this Stallion shootout. As mentioned, $5,000 straight out goes to the winner, 2.5 to second place and $1,500 to third and a big fat nothing to fourth. So you got to... spectators, get behind your competitors, and competitors, you've got to be in those top three if you want to win some of your money.
Okay, looks like we're underway with our judge Andrew Turvey. He's ready. And our first competitor is on camp, Elena Chamberlain, with Smart, Spin and Aces. Standing by should be number 2, Ben Hall, number 3, Mark Buttsworth, and number 4, Pete Comiskey.
So we talked about it before, Leslie, there's some of the quality of the horse flesh that we have here this afternoon, but this one comes in under the ownership of the Chamberlain family. They come up to us from Bombala, and this particular fellow, Smart Spin and Aces, he's a 13-year-old stallion by the Seligman Spin sire himself. Out of an Acres Destiny bred mare, and we all know what the Acres mares have done, and the strong mare lines that they have produced. And unfortunately, Alana's going to get a camp score there.
Yes, Gavin, she has a camp score of 22. 22 only there for Alana Chamberlain and Smart, Spin and Aces. Next competitor is on camp. That's number 2, Ben Hall, with Morse's Checkmate, owned by Scott Shea. Standing by, we have number 3, Mark Buttsworth, number 4, Pete Comiskey, number 5, Hugh Miles, number 6, David Murphy, and number 7, Mick Otten.
We're talking about some of these horses earlier with Glenn, Leslie, and we're talking about the family involvement in these sports. And I tell you what, here's a stallion here. It's owned by Scott Shea from Braidwood there, Morse's Checkmate. He's an open camp draft stallion, this particular fellow. He's a winning open draft. He's winning open drafts right through from juveniles right through to the opens there. And this particular fellow, he has been ridden by the whole family. And you watch him now, he knows where the points are. He's up the front of the yard. And just very occasionally, that will upset your afternoon.
So he's out on course. Competitor number 2, Ben Hall, and Morse's Checkmate, Scott Shea's nomination.
So I tell you what, we had the little mishap in the yard there. He came back down to the back of the yard, but like we mentioned there, this is very early in the draft. He's got the first 2 pegs well under control, and I'd suggest Ben Hall from that position. It won't be the first time that he's been from there. And he knows his way straight through the middle of the gate.
We'll have a score through very, very shortly for Ben Hall and Morse's Checkmate. Yes, cut out 16, horsework 62, course 4 for a total of 82 points. That's an 82-point round for Ben Hall and Morse's Checkmate. Next competitor is on camp, number 3, Mark Buttsworth, with 1 Stylish Pepto. Stand by number 4, Pete Comiskey, 5 Hugh Miles, 6 David Murphy.
And Les, we were talking about horses that you want to jump out of your seat and go across to the edge of the yard and watch. And I tell you what, this is a particular little horse here you'd like to watch. Comes here on One More Syndicate, owns this particular fellow. But I tell you what, he's a 21-year-old stallion. And just watch the way he works. Pepto's Stylish Oak is who he's by, and he's out of that champion mare in One More Spin. This particular fella, he won a Cannings down in the stallion draft at Warwick. He's been imported and exported all over the country. This particular fella, I understand he might have had a trip back to the US of A. And you can see why. What a combination. Mark Buttsworth on 1 Stylish Pepto.
Yeah, Gavin, we get to see this horse compete quite regularly in Queensland. Mark's actually comes from the same hometown as what I do, so certainly see him at many of the camp drafts we go to every weekend. And we'll have a score coming through for Mark Buttsworth and one Stylish Pepto. Cut out 24, horsework 64, course 4 for a total of 92. That's a 92-point round for Mark Buttsworth and one Stylish Pepto. Pete Comiskey's looking over his cattle at the moment. He's competitor number 4 with Roy. That's Nashville Roy L. Destiny. Standing by then, number 5, Hugh Miles. Number 6, David Murphy. Number 7, Mick Otten. And number 8, Brett Staines.
Well, once again, another one of these lovely combinations here. Roy's actually owned by Bryony Puddingham, who, congratulations there, Bryony, taking out that ladies' draft. But I tell you what, here's a lovely stallion here in the main arena for you. He's an Acres bred fellow. By Acres himself, he's a big, naturally cowy horse, as you can tell. We watched this fellow there go before. He's a very, very trainable fellow. He's fast, he's strong, and Pete was talking about him before. He said, mate, I tell you what about this particular horse, he just makes it fun and easy.
We have a score for Pete Comiskey and Roy, cut out 22, horsework 60, costs 4 for a total of 86. That's a 22, 60 and 4 for an 86 round for Pete Comiskey and Nashville Roy L. Destiny. Hugh Miles is looking over his cattle at number 5 with Smooth Talker. Standing by number 6, David Murphy, and number 7, Mick Otten, number 8, Brett Staines, number 9, Troy Palmer.
Tell you what, we're watching here, Mr. Hugh Miles with Smooth Talker. Another one of these Willinga Park sires. This particular fella, like you say, right up the front of the yard, and Hugh feels generally very comfortable being there. He's a 6-year-old stallion here by the American sire in Smooth Talking style. And out of an Acres Destiny bred mare, and we all know her in Honey They're Aiken. This particular fella is a winner of the Open Cutting 2023 AQHA at the national finals. He's Armidale Open Camp Draft winner in 2024. He's got winners and placings right throughout the cutting arena and camp draft arenas already in his short career. So I tell you what, Smooth Talker is certainly a very, very impressive stallion. We're talking about making it look easy. Hugh Miles out there with the Willinga Park, a Smooth Talker stallion. I don't think that was quite as planned.
I have a score coming through very shortly for Hugh Miles and Smooth Talker. It was a Willinga Park horse, so we will see how he went very, very shortly. Standing by number 6, David Murphy. Number 7, Mick Otten. Number 8, Brett Staines. Score for Willinga Park, a Smooth Talker. Cut out 17, horsework 54, course 3 for a total of 74 points. That's a 74-pointer for Hugh Miles and Smooth Talker. Next competitor will be number 6, David Murphy and Shalani Tempo. Standing by then, number 7, Mick Otten, number 8, Brett Staines, number 9, Troy Palmer.
Tell you what, Chalana Tempo comes to us from Janita Edwards from Talbot. He's an 11-year-old stallion. He's won numerous drafts. He's been excelling in the show ring as well, this particular fellow. He's only just been started drafting and showing with plenty of ability. But unfortunately, he will go out with a camp score here this afternoon.
And we have a camp score, Gavin, of 22 points. 22 points only there for David Murphy and Shalani Tempo, owned by Janita Edwards. Now we have Mick Otten, competitor number 7. He's currently on camp with Mumbulla Manta Ray. Standing by number 8, Brett Staines. Number 9, Troy Palmer. Number 10, Jay Sharnock. Number 11, Mark Buttsworth. Number 12, Sarah Nichols.
So this is Mick's own nomination. Mick comes to us from Bega, this particular sire. He's a 13-year-old novice Australian stock horse by a sire in Will John Crabbin out of Windra Matilda. Once again, unfortunately, he will go out with a camp score
of 21. 21 there for Mick Otten and Mumbulla Manta Ray. Next competitor is number 8, Brett Staines, with another Mumbulla horse. This is Barracuda. Standing by then, number 9, Troy Palmer. Troy will be riding Willinga Park's Big Red, and then we'll have number 10, Jay Sharnock, and 11, Mark Buttsworth.
This particular stallion, he's a 9-year-old stallion by Ventry's Ray Byrne. It's his first year competing in the Gippsland Campdraft Association in 2023 and 24 by Brett. He broke his maiden status and he's already had several placings. He got a first in the novice down in the SCA, but unfortunately here this afternoon, the points just weren't on his side.
Yeah, so Brett goes out there with a no score. We just tidy up the camp and we continue down to Troy Palmer and Willinga Park's Big Red. Standing by then, number 10, Jay Sharnock. Number 11, Mark Buttsworth. Number 12, Sarah Nichols. Number 13, Dan French. 14, Ben Matum. And 15 will be Hugh Miles.
We were talking about breedings and genetics there earlier with Glenn, and we were talking about, just some of the extra effort that's been put in over the latter parts of the years. And I tell you what, this horse here, he is no exception. He's a 6-year-old stallion here. He's been sired. This particular fella is sired by Metallic Cat and out of Junie Wood. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, is an exceptionally bred stallion here. He's been bred by the Slate River Ranch in Texas, and he was imported out here in 2022, this particular fellow. He hasn't had a lot of starts yet, but I tell you what, he was off to a very good start there. He's already won a maiden and two novice drafts already under his belt. He's also an ABCRA Australian Championships Challenge and Hunter Stockman's Classic Challenge winner already. In a very short career, he's already got a bunch of money and a bunch of buckles, accolades to his name. I tell you what, this particular fella is also a 3-quarter brother to Janie Wood, who was the 2021 NCHA Futurity winner in the US of A. So not only they performing here, when we talk about commitment. There's a Willinga Park horse and Troy Palmer with Big Red. So I just needed to get his attention a little bit in the yard. We're all okay now. And like some of the other riders, he's been in this position before. And there you go, straight through the gate.
Score for Troy Palmer and Willinga Park Big Red. Cut out 20, horsework 62, course 4 for an 86. That's an 86-point run for Troy Palmer riding Willinga Park's Big Red. Next competitor is on camp. That is Jay Sharnock with Strawn Park's Just a Moment. Standing by, we should have Mark Buttsworth with a little turbulence. Number 12 will be Sarah Nichols, Rustic Metal. Number 13, Dan French's Binner Chief. And number 14, Ben Matum's Eva Costa. If they could please stand by.
And as we were mentioning there before, Leslie, we're talking about, like you say, the breedings, etc. And here we go. We've got a heritage stock horse. We've got a double cross in this particular fellow of Star Black Minstrel. This particular fellow, he's 9 years of age, and he's a novice horse. He's won and placed at Sydney Royal Australian Stock Horse Shows and Nationals. And camp drafts and cuttings already. He's already got placings and winnings up in the Stockman Challenges and reining and cow horse events. So he's on account of Jay Sharnock. Comes to us across from Bulladillo, across there at the beach. Once again, Jay knows his way around that second peg. He'll kick him up there. See if he can bend him round back down to the left there and hold him straight and come straight through the middle of that gate if everything goes to plan. And there you have it.
Great to hear our spectators getting behind these riders as well this afternoon. We'll have a score very, very shortly for competitor number 10, Jay Sharnock, and Strawn Parks, just a moment. Has a cutout of 22. Horsework 61, course 4 for a total of 87. 87 points for Jay Sharnock and Strawn Parks, just a moment. And he doesn't muck around. Mark Buttsworth's cutting out already. He's competitor number 11, riding a little turbulence. Standing by number 12, Sarah Nichols, number 13, Dan French.
A little turbulence. Not the first time a little turbulence has been up the front of a yard, I tell you. 11-year-old Stallion by the one stylish Pepto So himself out of that great mare Turpentine Acres. This particular fellow, he's won a Nutrient Open camp draft up there at Tamworth in New South Wales. Owned by Don Williams, comes down here, ridden by Mark Buttsworth, and what a combination, like we mentioned. That's why they call it camp drafting.
And we have a score coming through for Mark Buttsworth, a little turbulence, cut out 23, horsework 53, course 3 for a 79. That's 79 points there for Mark Buttsworth and a little turbulence. We now watch competitor number 12, Sarah Nichols, and Rustic Metal. She's out on course, standing by number 13, Dan French, at 14, Ben Matum.
Rustic Metal, he's an 8-year-old novice horse already. He's already won maidens, he's won a novice, he's won ladies, he's won numerous cutouts by the Metallic Cats and out of Oaks Vixen.
And we can tell you Sarah has a cutout of 22. 22 only there for Sarah Nichols and Rustic Metal. Looking over his cattle now is competitor number 13, Dan French, with Binner Chief. Standing by 14, Ben Matum, Eva Costa, 15, Hugh Miles, Just Jack, and 16, Harry Hagan's Heatwave.
So we've got Dan looking over the cattle here. Binner Chief comes to us from Chrissy French. Dan comes down from Nimminabel. This particular he's a 9-year-old novice already. He's, of course, by the Palmer's Navajo. He's out of that mare in Oriton's Destiny. Binner Chief, he's just waiting for the other cow to run back past. Trying to do his best to take the time. Now he's got him free, he calls for the gate, heads out the front of the camp. He says, please, just come around here a little bit to the left and not too much. Kicks him up a little bit, heads around to the second peg. Things look like they're back in order here once again. We just need you to kick a little bit up there further to the right, and that just ain't going to happen this afternoon.
We have a cutout score of 16 there for Dan French and Binner Chief. Next competitor is number 14, Ben Matum and Eva Costa. Standing by 15, Hugh Miles, Just Jack. 16, Harry Hagan's Heatwave. 17 will be Luke Hardwick's Mewborn Buick. And 18 will be Vicky Evans with Talawal Classic Destiny. Please stand by.
EV Costa comes to us from Andrew and Carolyn Burns. Need no introduction into the Camp Draft Arena, ridden here this afternoon by Ben Matum down from Bective. This particular fella, he's an open Camp Draft stallion already. He is by Acres Destiny himself, this particular sire. And I tell you what, he was lined up here last year with a white shirt on, this particular EV Costa. He was a final. He finalled at the 2023 Gold Buckle here at Willinga last year, this particular horse. So this is no strange place for EV Costa. And neither's that gate.
We have a score for Andrew and Carolyn Burns, EV Costa, ridden by Ben Matum, cut out 22, horsework 61, course 4 for a total of 87. It's an 87-point run for Ben Matum and EV Costa. Hugh Miles is now in camp with Just Jack. He comes in as competitor 15, goes out on course. Into the camp goes number 16, Harry Hagan.
Once again, a very nice horse here for you to witness here this afternoon. This particular fella is the winner of the 2022 ABCRA Finals Open Camp Draft Horse Winner of the Year. 2024 Epic Stallion Shootout. And he's by the great Hazelwood Conman out of that mare we all know in Just Like Jess. She's a great Romeo mare. Just Jack's his name. He's heading up there to the gate. Jockeyed by Hugh Miles. And he says, that'll do. We'll just go through the middle there.
Score for Hugh Miles and Just Jack, cut out 22, horsework 54, course 3 for a 79. 79 points for Hugh Miles and Just Jack. Next competitor is number 16, Harry Hagan and Heatwave. Standby 17, Luke Hardwick. 18, Vicky Evans. 19, Bryony Puttycombe. And 20, Harley McGilveen.
I tell you what, we've seen this horse compete a number of times on a number of different events and a number of grounds. He's a 19-year-old stallion, this particular fellow. He's by the Acres Destiny himself. He was the winner of the 2013 Warwick Champion of Champions. He's winner of the 2019 Nutrien Classic Stallion Shootout, and he's also sired multiple Open Camp Draft winning horses as well. He comes to us. He's owned by Paul and Kim Carlin with Harry Hogan aboard. And unfortunately, he will have a camp score only this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right, Gavin. Cut out of 21. 21 only there for Harry Hagan and Heatwave. Looking over his cattle now is competitor 17, Luke Hardwick and Mewborn Buick. Standing by number 18, Vicky Evans, 19, Bryony Puttycombe, 20, Harley McIlveen.
Just while Luke's picking over his cattle there. Newburn Buick, owned by Vicky and Michael Hiscock. He's got a list of accolades as long as your arm as well, this particular fellow. He's a winner of a Chinchilla Restricted Open in 2023. He was the third in the Condamine Bell Open in 2023 also. He got third in the Champion of Champions at Warwick in 2023. I tell you what, 23 was a good year because I reckon he was standing down here. He was in the top 10 at the Willinga Gold Buckle in 2023 as well. He also achieved the highest score in the final at Berrigan in the Open at 2023 as well. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There is a horse there with plenty of accolades. Last year was very, very kind to him. Newburn Buick's his name.
Yeah, did you notice there, Gavin, there's a lot of Queensland places there where Michael and Vicky visit very, very regularly. We see them all the time. Even though they come from Mafra, they love travelling up to Queensland, and we have the opportunity to watch this horse work at places like Chinchilla. It's a great honour to see this stallion in those areas.
So Luke's got the first two pegs well under control here, and he's got a nice free running cow at this stage. And unfortunately, we'll leave that up to Andrew Turvey, the judge, but I'd suggest he probably just went on the outside.
Yeah, the judge agrees with you. Cut out 18, horsework 58, course 3 for a total of 79 points. That's a 79-point run for Luke Hardwick, riding Vicky and Michael Hiscock's Newborn Buick. So next competitor, number 18, Vicky Evans with Talawal Classic Destiny. Stand by number 19, Bryony Puttycombe.
Talawal Classic Destiny. He's a 15-year-old Australian stock horse stallion. He's won open camp drafts already. He's won ladies. He's won juveniles. And he's also won the junior drafts as well. He's by Acres himself, and he's out of Park House Classic. There's, of course, a fantastic mare as well. And looks at this point in time, Vicky's heading up towards the gate area. She's got a little bit of work to do here.
And we have a score for Vicky Evans and Talawal Classic Destiny. Cut out 22, horsework 57, course 3 for an 82. That's 82 points for Vicky Evans and Talawal Classic Destiny. Number 19 is now on camp. He's the winner of our ladies draft, Bryony Puttycombe with Times Checks. Standing by number 20, Harley McIlveen, and 21, Stephen Hart.
I reckon we've seen this stallion as well. Leslie, Times Checks. He's on the same truck as the winning lady here in the camp at the moment, owned by Pete Comiskey. They can make the trip down from Nebo, as we've mentioned throughout the week there. We've got a 9-year-old stallion out of that legendary mare in Roni's Checks. By the sire in Time's Up, this particular fellow, he has already won 2 novice drafts and placing in numerous other drafts. Like I say, Bryony just taking the time to select through the cattle. As we know in the camp draft world, the cattle are a very big part of it. You pick the wrong cow, and it makes the rest of the job very, very difficult.
And Gavin, it's not very often we get to go to a draft where we see the cattle come from one line. All these cattle are from Willinga Pastoral that we will see for the entire week. Very big thank you, of course, to Terry and Jeanette Snow for this wonderful line of cattle that we will use throughout the whole week.
You know, you're right, Leslie. It's an amazing opportunity and it's a big effort. It does not go unnoticed, but it is such a big effort to put that many cattle together. But not just that many cattle to keep going round and round and round all throughout the week. So a very big thank you to the Snow family there for organising that, and 100%. I don't think that was on Bryony's radar for one moment, unfortunately, there, Bryony. But congratulations there on that ladies' Dash for Cash win you had a moment ago.
And we have a score for Bryony Puttycombe and time checks. That was a cutout of 22. 22 there for Bryony. Next competitor is number 20, Harley McIlveen. Stand by 21, Steve Hart. 22, Josh Barnett.
The Ducks and Drakes, it comes to us. This particular stallion comes to us from Dale and Debbie Poole up there at Manila. Ducks and Drakes, as the name would suggest, was bred by John Breckelman. By Acres Destiny and out of Oaks Special Duckling. Exceptionally bred stallion here in the camp for you. Harley McIlveen is your jockey. Dale and Debbie Poole own Ducks and Drakes, and as we mentioned up there from Manila, we head out towards the first peg and we see him as though we have a very nice arc. Tried to take it nice and close to that first peg and does the same again on the second peg. A little bit of work to do now. Get back up in front of them and get in position to come back through that gate, and I tell you what, there's a fast horse. Also a fast cow.
The score very shortly for competitor number 20, Harley McIlveen and Ducks and Drakes. And that was a cutout of 20, horsework 55, course 3 for a 78. 78 points for Harley McIlveen and Ducks and Drakes. 21 is our next competitor, Stephen Hart with The Metallist. Standing by then 22, Josh Barnett's Moonlight.
Tell you what, Leslie, what an opportunity to sit up here and look over some of these horses, and the Medalist is another one of these fantastic stallions we get the opportunity to sit here and watch this afternoon. Need no introduction whatsoever, this particular rider-horse combination, Mr. Stephen Hart and the Medalist. This particular stallion, he's already won 4 open drafts, he won the Nutrient Classic Stallion Shootout. I tell you what, he took around that first tree, making it look very, very simple. Like we mentioned, it's not quite as simple as these guys can make it look at times. Stephen takes him up and sits him in a very nice spot for that gate. And that's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Hart and the Metallist.
Score for Stephen Hart and the Metallist cut out a 22, horsework 63, course 4 for a total of 89 points. It's an 89 there for Stephen Hart and the Metallist. Next competitor, 22, Josh Barnett and Moonlight. Stand by 23, David Murphy, Mobile Price Tag. Then we'll have 24, Jay Sharnock with Jakiro's Lincoln.
I tell you what, we've seen a fair bit of Josh over this week as well. Made plenty of, he's been back in plenty of second round events here. He's got Moonlight here. He's his own nomination. He's Australian stock horse Stallion. He is sired by Dream Acres and out of a mare by the name of Alchins Cinderella. He's got the first peg. He's got the second peg, and he says, just let me have a look here. We need to head up toward that gate. Just get ourselves in a bit better position here and come across. And that's how you do it once again, ladies and gentlemen. Another 4-point round for Josh Barnett and Moonlight.
Score is through for Josh Barnett and Moonlight. Cut out 22, horsework 61, course 4 for an 87. It's an 87-point round there for Josh Barnett and Moonlight. Watching now, competitor 23, David Murphy with mobile price tag. Standing by 24, Jay Chanook, and 25, Mark Buttsworth.
I'll tell you what, that wasn't a very nice move, but it took a lot of recovery there from David Murphy with a mobile price tag. David comes to us from Talbot. This particular fellow, he has won 15 camp drafts in his own right, but he's also sired numerous camp draft winning progeny. Like I say, slightly wrong-footed there in the camp, but he's making up for it outside there. As he heads up towards the gate, gets the cow nice and relaxed and says, just through here, please.
And we have a score for David Murphy and mobile price tag of cutout 16, horsework 61, course 4 for a total of 81. It's 81 points there for David Murphy and mobile price tag. Next competitor, 24, Jay Chanook with Jakiro Lincoln. Standing by 25, Mark Buttsworth, 26, Troy Palmer, 27 will be Mark Buttsworth once again, and 28 will be Hugh Miles.
Yeah, Jakiro Lincoln, he's a 6-year-old conman son out of a mare, Niners, Missing Links. He's successfully been competed in the cutting and the Stockman Challenge, and as well as Australian stock horse shows and camp drafts right around. And unfortunately here this afternoon, you're not going to get to see a lot of the outside work there. You will get a camp score.
Yes, and we have a camp score of 21. 21 there for Jay Chanook and Jakiro's Lincoln. Next competitor is number 25, Mark Buttsworth. He rides Nonda Southern Cross. Standing by 26, Troy Palmer, 27, Mark Buttsworth again.
So Nonda Southern Cross comes to us from David and Heather Pascoe. Need no introduction into the camp draft arena at all once again. That's not the first time that's happened here this afternoon. Nonda Southern Cross, he's by the Acres Destiny sire himself. He's out of a grand mare in Nonda Happy Ever After. As we mentioned there before, owned by David and Heather Pascoe. Mr. Mark Buttsworth aboard. He's got everything well and truly back under control here now. Like I say, a little bit wrong-footed in the yard. Very, very clever horse and a clever jockey.
Score for Mark Buttsworth, riding David and Heather Pascoe's Nonda Southern Cross. Cut out 17, horsework 62, course 4 for a total of 83. That's an 83-point round for Mark Buttsworth with Nonda Southern Cross. Next competitor, he's in the camp now, is competitor 26, Troy Palmer with Binner Convoy. Standing by 27, Mark Buttsworth with Branchvale Metal Alloys. Then we'll have 28, Hugh Miles, time's up.
So this nomination, Binner Convoy, comes to us an account of Troy and Fiona Palmer up there at Coolah. Binner Convoy is an 8-year-old, a conman son. He's out of that grand mare that Troy had a lot of fun on, and Shakira Spin. This particular fella, he's already won a novice draft. So we got the yard worked out there. Now we head outside. Try and take that hard bend back down to the left there on that first peg. We've got Binner Convoy. Troy and Fiona Palmer's nomination, as we mentioned there, the conman son himself, out of a very, very successfully campaigned mare in Shakira Spin. And there you have it.
I'll have a score very shortly for Troy and Fiona Palmer's Binner Convoy with Troy Palmer aboard. A cutout of 16, horsework 62, course 4 for a total of 82. That's 82 points there for Troy Palmer and Binner Convoy. Well, now we see Mark Buttsworth again. He comes in as competitor 27 with Branchvale Metal Alloy. Standing by then will be 28, Hugh Miles, 29, David Thorne, 30, Vicky Evans, and 31, Matt Holtz.
It's a Branchvale Metal Alloy. Comes to us from Roger Grant up there at Kuba Performance Horses. Once again, another very good supporter of not only this event down here, has been a partner here at Willinga Park for years, but also right throughout the industry, and we thank you very much for that, Roger. This particular fellow is a 5-year-old son of a Metallic Cat. Out of a mare goes under the name of Ray's Little Hottie. This particular fella, he won at St George and Gundawindi Cutting Futurities and Concurry Stockman's Challenge. And as we mentioned there, got Mark Buttsworth aboard. Cow's making a little bit of hard work on him, but the horse rider combination have made it look easy.
The score coming through for Roger Grant's Branchvale Metal Alloy, being ridden this afternoon by Mark Buttsworth. Cutout 21, horsework 56, course 4 for an 81. That's an 81 there for Mark Buttsworth and Branchvale Metal Alloy. Hugh Miles is now in camp at 28 with times up. Standing by then 29, David Thorne with Sorta Smooth, and 30, Vicky Evans with Tallawal Classic Acres.
I tell you what, we watch this horse. He's not afraid to come up the front and get right down level there, but time's up. Peter Schumacher owns this particular horse. He's a US-bred stallion. He was a winner of the Condamine. Never in doubt. Condamine Bell in 2023. He's an open camp draft winner. He's a sire of many camp drafting and cutting winners right across, and he's by the great one-time Pepto, this particular fellow, and like we mentioned there, was never in doubt. And you talk about trying to make hard work of it, but Huey Miles, and time's up. He says, that was the wrong gate, my friend. You need to come back through this one.
Well, that certainly was a crowd pleaser, wasn't it? We'll have a score shortly for competitor 28, Hugh Miles, and time's up. Standing by then, 29, David Thorne, 30, Vicky Evans, and 31, Matt Holtz. And that was a cutout score of 23, horsework 56, course 4 for an 83. That's an 83-pointer for Hugh Miles, and time's up. You now watch competitor 29, David Thorne, and Sorta Smooth.
Sorta Smooth comes to us from Tracy and Kirk Nicholson from Wallenbean. By the smooth as a cat and out of Ross's little darling. He's got $65,000 in NCHA earnings already, this particular fellow. He's third in the NCHA Open Futurity. He's by the Open Derby and Classic Champion. Victoria NCHA Classic Champion and winner of a cutout, Junior and Novice. And maiden draft finalist. He's got 6th in the Stallion draft up there at Nutrien as well, this particular fellow. And David will take him up there and show him the gate and say thank you very much.
So very shortly we'll have a score for competitor 29, David Thorne, and Sorta Smooth. It's a cutout of 17, horsework 59, course 4 for an 80. That's 80 points there for David Thorne and Sorta Smooth. Vicky Evans is looking over her cattle now. She comes in as competitor 30, riding Tallawal Classic Acres. Standing by 31, Matt Hole's Nonda Last Frontier, 32, Greg Charleston's Zanzibar, and 33, Ben Hall riding Shiro's Traditional Acres.
Tallawal's Classic Acres, owned by Vicky Evans here, comes down to us from Nabiac there. And as we mentioned there before, a lot of these horses have to go in numerous different horse disciplines, and this particular fella, he's a 9-year-old Australian stock horse stallion. He's got many wins in the show ring already. He's now making a mark in the Campdraft Arena, and he is by Acres Destiny himself, and he's out of a fine mare in Park House, a classic. Vicky brings him round the first peg. So we give him a little bit extra room. They're coming around the second peg and line him up for the gate. And that was so close, Vicky, but so far away.
I have a score for Vicky Evans and Tallawal Classic Acres, cutout 21, horsework 54, course 3 for a 78. 78 points for Vicky Evans and Tallawal Classic Acres. 31 is our next competitor, Matt Holtz. Matt comes in riding Graham and Jodie Rosinski's stallion, called Nonda Last Frontier. Stand by 32, Greg Charleston, 33, Ben Hall, 34, Matt Oakley.
So Nonda Last Frontier, absolutely no stranger to this ground. Horse-rider combination here, taking a gold buckle home here. In 2022, this particular horse won the Willinga Park Gold Buckle Campdraft Championship here in 2022. He's going to do his best to see if he can take a bit of this stallion shootout money home with Matt Holtz. He's by the Conman sire and out of Nonda Dottie Papanui. Leads out, does the crossover, and look at the way the horse stretches out. Like we mentioned, it's not the first time he's run around in this particular arena. And he said that was never in doubt, Glenn.
Score for Matt Holtz and Nonda Last Frontier, cutout 21, horsework 61, course 4 for an 86. That's an 86-point run there for Matt Holes and Nonda Last Frontier. Next competitor is number 32, Greg Charlson. He rides Zanzibar. Standing by 33, Ben Hall, Shiro's Traditional Acres. 30, that was 33. 34, Matt Oakley, Hashtag Finale. And 35, Pete Comiskey's Canipes Ransom. And our last competitor will be number 36, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks, Linesman.
Well, Zanzibars are owned by Greg Charlson. Comes to us up from Wagga Wagga, southern New South Wales. He's an 18-year-old son of Hazelwood conman. This particular fella, he's won over 10 open camp drafts. Like I say, we've had a few of them just get a little bit wrong-footed in the yard here this afternoon, but I tell you what, it's still very fine camp drafting. And unfortunately, we just go on the wrong side of that second peg, which will mean you get a camp score only there, Greg.
And that's right, Gavin, and that's a cutout score of 16. 16 only there for Greg Charlson and Zanzibar. Next competitor, 33, Ben Hall with Shiro's Traditional Acres, owned by Andrew Sheridan. Standing by then, 34, Matt Oakley, 35, Pete Comiskey, and 36, Rowan Marks.
I'll tell you what, here's a horse that's been around a little bit, Shiro's Traditional Acres. Andrew Sheridan owns this particular fellow, and in 2022 he came first in the Stallion shootout at the Nutrient Classic up there in Tamworth, and the same year he got equal third in the Willinga Gold Buckle Open as well. So unfortunately tonight is not his night, but he'll live to put some more points on the field a little bit later.
And that's a 22 cutout there for Ben Hall and Shiro's Traditional Acres. 3 horses left to run. This is Matt Oakley, competitor 34 with Hashtag Finale. Standing by then 35, Pete Comiskey's Canipes Ransom.
Unfortunately for Matt Oakley and Hashtag Finale, Casey Stoner's nomination there. He is a 4-year-old stallion by Hashtags. He's out of a man, Gidgee Coles. But unfortunately, luck just didn't go his way this evening. So we'll just have a remove that beast from the yard.
And that's right, that was a no score there for Matt Oakley and Hashtag Finale. Pete Comiskey is now on camp with Canipes Ransom. He comes in as competitor number 35. And then we'll have our final competitor, number 36, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks Linesman. But you're currently watching competitor 35, Pete Comiskey and Canipes Ransom.
Once again, another horse rider combination here, not new to this particular arena. Knight's Ransom. He's a 13-year-old Hazelwood conman's son out of Banul Serenade. It's second round winner of the Gold Buckle Campdraft Championship. He's the Chinchilla Novice finalist. He placed third at Warwick Stallion Draft in 2023, finalist here at Willinga Park Gold Buckle with Pete Comiskey as well. Like we mentioned, no new stranger to either of these particular competitors, the horse and the rider. There you have it, Pete Comiskey, another one through the gate.
And we have a score for Pete Comiskey with Canipes Ransom. Cut out 22, horsework 62, course 4 for an 88. That's an 88-point score there for Pete Comiskey and Canipes Ransom. This is our last competitor, number 36, Rowan Marks with Turner Marks Linesman.
So we're watching the last competitor here in this Stallion shootout this afternoon. You're watching Rowan Marks with Turner Marks linesman. Once again, another good horse rider combination here. Linesman's by Lawless Mandana. And out of a mare will do Hingis, who's a 2020 Warwick Gold Cup winner. Ron comes to us from up there at Charlwood, which is near Boonah in Queensland. Once again, gave him a little slip in the yard. However, things seem to be well back under control. He comes around the second peg. Pops him up, tries to set him up nicely to come back through that gate. Things are looking okay from here.
And we have a score for Rowan Marks, Turner Marks, linesman, cut out 16, horsework 61, course 4 for a total of 81. That's an 81-point round for Rowan Marks. And Turner Marks, linesman, will have the winner and place getters for you very, very shortly. So we can tell you that first place goes to Mark Buttsworth with one stylish Pepto with a total score of 92 points. 92 points for Mark Buttsworth and one stylish Pepto. Second place goes to Stephen Hart, the medalist, with an 89-point round, 89 points. And third place going to Pete Comiskey and Canipes Ransom with 88 points. So that's our winner and place getters for our jackpot stallion draft, and we will do the presentations very, very shortly. Now, I'm sure everyone is aware, the word is out that 87 and over will go into the final of the Gold Buckle final, and the draw for the finals, the final order, will be done at the grass area in front of the Willinga Park grandstand. That will happen at 5:30 p.m. tonight.
So proceedings the rest of this evening there, Leslie. You're going to go and do the presentation for that stallion draft in just a moment. But after that, we're going to do that 5:30 draw. So all competitors that made it back into that final of the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Championship Camp Draft. If you're in that final, you need to be over there in that grass area in between the grandstands at 5:30 p.m. this evening. And at 6 p.m. we're going to do that cut-out final. So there's about a dozen competitors in that cut-out final, so there'll be 12 very, very excitable horses and jockey combinations you'll get to watch here this afternoon at about 6 p.m. They're going to do that cut-out final. 5:30 they'll do that draw for tomorrow's final for the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Championship Camp Draft final.
Okay, we'll be getting underway very, very shortly with our presentation of the Stallion Shootout. So we require competitor number 1. That was Mark Buttsworth. He's the winner of the shootout with One Stylish Pepto, owned by One More Syndicate. And of course, he had a big score of 92. Then we'd like to have number 2, Stephen Hart, the medalist. Had a great score of 89. Then we'd also have number 3, Pete Comiskey, and Canipes Ransom. Andrew Turvey. He's probably on another mission, but we'd like Andrew Turvey, the judge, to be present as well, please. And we have Nadine Young, Willinga Park's events manager, with us this afternoon to do the presentation. We'll do that in the big ring, the big arena, please. Just another call for Andrew Turvey, if you could be present for the presentation. He probably is. He's got a big job here, Andrew. We might get Lauren Newton. Ah, here he comes. He's on his way. Okay, we are underway with our presentation. First place goes to Mark Buttsworth with One Stylish Pepto. Of course, this horse is owned by One More Syndicate, and he had that fantastic run of a 92 to take out the Stallion's jackpot. And he's going to be awarded his trophy by Willinga Park's events manager, Nadine Young. Second place is going to Stephen Hart, the medalist. This is Stephen Hart's own nomination, and he had a wonderful run of 89 points. Third place now being awarded to Pete Comiskey and Canipes Ransom. This is Pete's own nomination, and he of course came in third place with an 88. So there we are. That's the presentation of our Stallion Shootout, and we have our judge out here, Mr. Andrew Turvey, and Willinga Park events manager, Nadine Young. So, Mark, I'm sure after we have our photos taken, you can lead them off with a bit of a canter back to the stable, and I'm sure everyone will like a cold drink this afternoon. What a great day of drafting we've had here at Willinga Park. Well, there they are, ladies and gentlemen, hands together for the winner and place getters of our Stallion Shootout. What a great way to finish the afternoon.